Hey everybody, today I'm going to review General Tools' brand new model TS04 ToolSmart Multimeter. And unlike a traditional multimeter that you probably already own, this one does not require that you're right next to it in order to use it, and you can actually use this one remotely. The reason you can do that, the entire ToolSmart lineup can connect to your phone or your tablet using a wireless signal. And this one's going to use a Bluetooth signal, and it's going to transmit all the data from the screen into a free app, and you can see exactly what's going on by just holding up your phone. Now let's say you're working on a problem. You can leave this hooked up to, let's say, a car battery. You can watch what's going on your phone, and you don't have to have somebody help you or continue to make trips back to take the readings off the multimeter. So what I want to do in this video is give you some closer-up looks at this. We're going to go over all the different features, and then we're going to see how it actually performs. Here's a closer look at the multimeter, and I do want to point out right off the bat that it's a very lightweight unit coming in at just over 8 ounces. It's less than 6 inches long, less than 3 inches wide, and it's only 2 inches thick. And it is going to include a set of leads as well as a thermocoupler. If you choose to use the multimeter along with your phone or your tablet, it's going to connect wirelessly with a Bluetooth signal. Now this is going to have a maximum range of 33 feet, however that's with no obstructions. Meaning if you're in a parking lot, you're going to have the maximum range, but if you're inside of a building that has walls, for example, those obstructions would most likely cut the signal back, lowering your effective range. Using the multimeter to measure voltage is going to be very easy, and you'll just need to turn the unit on, and it's automatically going to default to DC mode. This is the type of power that's in your vehicle, and if you're using it for AC voltage like in your house, you will need to press the function button to switch it to AC mode. At this point, we can take our 2 leads and measure the voltage in the wall. A standard wall outlet is going to look like this, and you can notice 3 different holes. The one on the bottom that's round is going to be the ground wire. The large one on the left is going to be the neutral wire, and the small one on the right is going to be the hot wire. So we'll take our 2 leads, we'll take the black one and put that in the neutral side. We'll take our red lead and put that in the hot side. And then we'll take a look at our meter to see what the reading is at this outlet. So at this outlet we can see that it has standard wall power coming in at roughly 126.4 volts. But let's say you have another outlet in your garage that you don't recognize, such as this one. Now I know from the previous homeowner that this outlet was used to power a welder. And to check the voltage on it, we can take one lead and plug it in the left, the other lead and plug it in the right, and looking at the screen we can see our voltage is roughly 250 volts. Now we know how much power is going through this outlet, and we can match it up with the tools that actually use that much power accordingly. If you work on vehicles, then something that can save you a lot of time and a lot of money is learning how to accurately diagnose electrical issues. Now it could be as simple as a burnout fuse, maybe a bad battery cable, or even a power draw. But if you have something like a multimeter, it can make it very simple and it can save you a lot of money versus just replacing parts hoping to fix the issue. Now the problem with a standard multimeter is you can't see what the reading on the screen is. Let's say you're inside the vehicle and this is hooked up to the battery. You would have to have a helper, or you would have to get back out and take a reading, and it's really not practical, and it is very time consuming. Because the ToolSmart multimeter can connect wirelessly to your phone, what you can then do is actually set inside the vehicle. You can watch what the reading is live, and you don't need a helper, and you're not going to have to get back out to do any diagnostics. Now that's very important, let's say, when you're checking out an alternator to see if your charging system's working correctly. And this can easily allow you to diagnose it very quickly, and you can do so by just looking at the screen. So now I'm going to pop the hood, hook the multimeter up, and we're going to test out the charging system on this tracker. On the top of the battery, you'll notice 2 different posts, one of those being a positive terminal and one being a negative terminal. We'll take our red lead, place that on the positive terminal. We'll take our black lead and place that on the negative terminal. Now we can go ahead and turn the unit on. This will automatically detect the voltage, and in this case it's DC voltage, and the battery has a total of 12.68 volts. But what we want to test is the charging system to see if the alternator is working correctly. So next I'll get inside the vehicle, I'll connect this to the phone, and then I'll be able to see what the reading is with the car running. And as it's running, we're going to turn on a lot of the accessories, such as the high beams as well as the fan, to see when there's maximum power draw if it's putting out over 14 volts, meaning that the charging system will be working properly. To connect it to the phone, just press the Bluetooth button. It's going to automatically send out the Bluetooth signal. You can make sure Bluetooth is enabled on your phone and then open up the ToolSmart app. We'll go ahead and then select this tool out of our toolbox, and it will allow it to connect almost instantly. Once the two are connected, you'll see that the voltage on the screen of the multimeter will connect with the phone, showing the exact same voltage on the screen of your phone, meaning when we set inside the vehicle, the readings will be identical the entire time. So now with our phone connected to the multimeter via the app, we'll go ahead and start the vehicle up, turning on the accessory power, meaning that it's using the maximum amount of electricity. So we'll turn the fan on high, we'll turn our high beams on, as well as the four-way flashers. And what this is going to do is have maximum power draw. We'll then take a look at this to see exactly how much power the alternator is putting back into the battery. With the vehicle running as well as all the accessories on, we can now see that the voltage going back into the battery is 14.26 volts. Now this is what's being generated by the alternator, and this means that the charging system is working correctly and nothing is going to need to be replaced. Taking a temperature reading is very easy to do with the multimeter because it does have an included thermocoupler. If we notice one side's red and the other side's white, the white side's going to plug in the COM port, the red side's going to plug in the temp port, and these are the two standard ports that you would normally have your leads plugged into. Once you plug the thermocoupler in, we can rotate this up to temp mode, and it will give us an accurate reading as the temperature at the end of the probe. Now right now it's roughly 63 degrees Fahrenheit in this room, but when we turn the hot water on, we can take an instantaneous reading to see exactly what the temperature of it is. Taking that same probe, rather than reading the air temperature, it's now going to read the water temperature, which you can see is coming in at roughly 115 degrees Fahrenheit. To test these coil packs and to see if the ohm reading is within range, we'll rotate this up to the auto ranging ohm mode, which is just past the temperature setting. We'll take one of the probes and place it in the bottom where it would plug on top of the spark plug. We'll take our second probe and place it against the pin in the top. It will automatically give us an ohm rating, and we can take that number and compare it to the manual to see if this coil pack is within range. Another mode in that setting will be continuity. Now right now we're still measuring ohms, but to switch to continuity mode, we'll take the function key and press it one time, and then we're going to be in continuity mode. Taking the two probes and placing them together will give us continuity as well as an audible alert, and that means that we can test something like a fuse to see if it's damaged internally. Now if a fuse is damaged, it means that one post is no longer connected to the other post because the center portion has burnt out. But what we can easily do, even if these are installed, is put one probe against each of the pins in the top, and if we hear an audible alert, it means that the fuse is good. So we'll take our black probe and put it against one pin. We'll take our red probe and put it against the other pin, and when we hear an audible alert, it means that this fuse is still good. To test the amp draw on something, you'll want to rotate this over to the amp mode, and then you want to take your red lead, pull that out of the bottom, and move it to the 10 amp fuse mode. Now what this will do is allow you to test the amp draw of something, such as an LED light, and you can see exactly how much power it's going to draw. To test this LED light, I've taken a battery and connected an alligator clip to the positive terminal. I ran that down and connected the other side to the red wire going into the LED light. Then the black wire coming out of the LED light, we've connected another alligator clip and connected that to our red probe. We'll take the black probe and put it against the neutral side of the battery, and then we'll watch the screen to see how many amps are being pulled. You can see the lights cutting on, and it's pulling roughly 1 amp. There are also two different modes for testing batteries. We have a 9-volt battery as well as a 1.5-volt battery, which would be a AA, and we have two different modes corresponding with each of these. The first being the 9-volt mode, we can line the arrow up with the 9-volt symbol, take our two leads and place it against the two posts on the top, And looking at the reading, this one's coming in at 9.19 volts, meaning that this is a good battery. We can take our AA battery, we'll rotate that down to the 1.5 volt mode, and then we can touch our two leads to both ends of it and also get a reading. It's coming in at 1.6 volts, which means that these are both fully charged. So now you've seen the General Tools ToolSmart multimeter for yourself. And because it can connect to your phone or your tablet using that Bluetooth signal, it really does increase the overall functionality of it. And like I showed you in that clip, diagnosing the alternator, because I could actually leave this under the hood while I was inside the vehicle, and I could get a direct reading on the phone as to what the voltage is. I didn't have to run back and forth or have somebody help me. So although this might not do everything one of the very high-end ones will do, you do want to keep in mind, as far as normal everyday use, this is more than adequate, and coming in at only $50, it would be a great addition to anybody's toolbox. Now these are going to be available exclusively at Lowe's, and they do carry a 1-year warranty against manufacturer defects. So if you happen to run into a problem with the ToolSmart multimeter during that time frame, General Tools will fix or replace it for you free of charge. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.